Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Lego Jurassic World, although we're still in the story of Jurassic Park, so let's continue that story. We're actually kind of close to ending the Jurassic Park story, I think. Um, if I recall correctly, there's just the scene to get to the visitors park, the visitor center, which may be like right here, and then the scene in the visitor center, and then the inevitable escape from the visitor center to, I think, a helicopter, and I think that's pretty much it. Uh, I don't think there's anything else that happens in the movie. I'm assuming whatever I'm doing here is the right thing. So Timmy is helping out. You could certainly have played Timmy as annoying, but I don't recall him actually being annoying at all in the movie, which is kind of a masterpiece in itself. See, and I think that's this entire section. So this little area, I'm sure there's like some like small collectible here in the free play world, like right here, I guess. But oh, that requires the Jurassic World character. See, it even has the Jurassic World logo on it. Interesting. But this little walkway probably just connects, I would assume. Although I'm kind of trying to figure out how. How could it connect unless there's a wall here that isn't connected when you're not playing this. And there was a block here that just jumped in. See it? A bug in the game. Like right there. And then gone. Weird. So I assume that's probably something that you shouldn't be able to deal with in this story. That is a weird bug to have to work. It goes to show how the engine works. Here, we'll look at this. The engine of this game obviously has a render distance at a lower quality far away, and without actual any like gameplay interactivity. So the walls don't stop you from walking through them until you get near them, I would bet. Just to save on processing power.
Here's another fascinating fact for you.
I wish they would actually say the things out loud instead of trying to make me read the things at the bottom of the loading screen.
Hello? Okay. I'm gonna have to find the others. I'll be back soon. I promise.
Yeah, so best I can figure there's one or two more levels for Jurassic Park, and then maybe we go on to the other Jurassic Park movies, number 2 and number 3. I mean, we've already moved into the famous scene. He clears the fog off the glass.
What is it? It's a velociraptor.
Oh yeah, that was the thing about Timmy, is that he actually knew what the dinosaurs were where the others didn't. In fact, I think in this scene, the older girl shows herself to have taken like balance beams or ballerina stuff. So we're super sneaking here, and I assume what we wouldn't want to do is walk any further. and it won't let us. Anyways. Poor octopus here. And then a bunch of chilies. They seem more than capable of smelling where she is. Let's switch to this other guy. I mean, this girl. So that. Well, that's not chilies, that's sausages. So now that he's distracted, we can sneak this way. Get in the oven. That's a smart move. Hide in the oven. That's not an oven, it's a secret cabinet you can crawl through. Makes no sense. This is the oven. Let's move back to the other side and throw our baseball. It is kind of amazing that they cast a girl in the role of being sporty at all. They certainly didn't do that in Jurassic World. In fact, in Jurassic World, it's rather a big difference in age. The older brother in Jurassic World is a late teenager. It's like, and they are afraid, so they won't get a certain distance. That helps. I guess this guy needs to come back this way. But when people make movies, they're usually so stereotypical. They typecast, and all that is just what's the stereotypical role, and they kind of didn't. They broke the typecast by having a sporty, older teenage girl in this movie that actually helps, actually saves the day a few times. Maybe I'm overthinking it, maybe I don't remember it right, but it seems like she's a lot more capable than a stereotypical teenage girl would be. She has the ability to give you a lift and bounce characters up, including the adult characters, which is unbelievable but cool. Notice that the spoon automatically falls down and grabs this guy's attention. This is a good scene. It's like we're acting out the movie as we play the game, instead of just playing a video game. We know what we're supposed to do, and we're gonna do it even if it doesn't make a lot of sense. Alright, go ahead and push this. If one spoon caught his attention, one would assume all that noise would catch their attention also. Now, of course, compared to the movie, the scene, the exact angles and the exact framing of the shots is nowhere as good, and it probably couldn't ever be. It would be very, very difficult to do something that you can do with a fixed camera angle in a video game where I can at any point change the camera angle, and I don't have realistic characters because they're minifigs, and I have less budget and less technology available to me than what a movie maker would have. Video game creators gonna obviously have less of a budget there. So in he goes into the walk-in freezer, which certainly wouldn't want to get locked in there, although at this point it probably would be an acceptable trade-off. Hide in the walk-in freezer versus getting eaten by velociraptors. Was that a soft serve ice cream machine? So they locked one in there, I assume I can't unlock it. And do we now sneak back? Get that tight camera angle. Look, she's got a computer disk. A floppy disk on the side of her belt. We haven't in-game or in story explained why that would be the case. There is a hilarious scene that we haven't quite seen yet, where one of the kids says, "I know this, it's Linux," and she's like way too young to have ever messed around with Linux at all. It just makes no sense at all. And every time I see that scene, I just burst out into laughing, and I think it is her.
Control room.
So yeah, we're gonna see this scene right here.
The system first.
Turn off the door locks!
That smiling face. It's like a super unrealistic scene in the movie. They're holding the door closed, and
Boot up the door locks!
and these two would absolutely not be able to do that. And I believe the girl is gonna say, "I know this, it's Linux." So not only is she breaking a typecasting of being a sporty girl, she's breaking another stereotype of being a sporty computer nerd. I mean, super computer nerd, to be as young as as that character is depicted as in the movie, and know what Linux is. Most adults wouldn't know how to work with Linux. Even a lot of IT people, a significant number of IT people don't work with Linux, and it's actually getting lower because IT people now are getting specialized in only fixing Apple products. So, and even though Apple is technically built on Linux, it's still not the same thing. And I may be wrong about that. Apple may actually be built off a different software that's almost exactly like Linux called BSD, and that's a real generalization there that would get nerds mad at me. Knock those pizza boxes. Just knocked them all over the place. I'm just smashing things for the coins, I guess. There's not a lot more to do. Just keep hitting them as long as they keep spitting out coins. Or studs. Let's go ahead and save and continue. Remember, the Velociraptor is still trying to break in, but they've stopped fighting it. They're just holding the doors closed for us. And then let's hit this. Only hackers, such as her, can use the computer terminal. So she's sporty, she's helpful, she's breaking all the molds, and she's a hacker. And this character is like 14, 15, 16 in the movie. It's too much. Alright. So I'm just moving the mouse to that and then hit X. Interesting, it's just showing the camera footage. And I can't go back, so if there was a cutscene I missed by clicking on the room I was in, that's too bad. So it's weird to have a mouse simulated by an Xbox 360 controller, which is what I'm playing with. There's the bad guy. I suppose that it's kind of good that this isn't an incredibly difficult puzzle. It's just follow the dotted lines. I kind of wish there was something to do here, but there was a challenge. But it's a kid's game. Oh, the poor guy's stuck in the freezer. And so that bottom section is made up for the game. Completely. Because she, in the movie, just activates it. See, she's a little spooked. Certainly. Definitely shaken, but still doing a lot more than what the parents are doing, or the adults, not the parents actually. The parents of these two kids aren't shown on screen. It's just there's actually, I think, a storyline or at least a hint that the two archaeologist adults were thinking about getting married and having kids or something, and this is their experience of babysitting. Let's see. Little rats running around. That's kind of cool. Lego rats. Let's pick up this fuse. I've got the fuse. Is there anything else I'd want to collect? It's like there's another thing from Jurassic World, I think, that would need to be dealt with, and then it would turn this room or something so that you could get up there. So a lot of free play stuff over there. But for now, we just put the fuse in. By the way, you can't just jam fuses in a charge circuit and expect not to be electrocuted. Because that's exactly what would have happened if that kid had just put a fuse in there. He would have been electrocuted. Alright. Looks like we're gonna probably end it here.
It's a Unix system. I know this. It's all the files of the whole park. It tells you everything. I gotta find the right file.
So, I guess I was proven wrong there. She doesn't say it's a Linux system. She says it's a Unix system. Linux is based off Unix, but Unix itself is actually even more lesser known. So, like, for example, I know Linux to a certain extent, pretty well, but nowhere as good as a lot of other people, I'm sure. And still, I don't know Unix at all. I'm sure there's some similarities. What am I supposed to do? Was it a color memorization thing?
Trying to reach the gun.
I can't get it unless I move.
Red. Okay. So let's light these up in the right order. I assume that's what I'm supposed to do.
This is it. This might be the right file. This isn't the right file.
So, yeah. They desperately needed... here's how I would have done this scene. I would have had the password taped under the desk. And then when Timmy or the little girl were there, they would be at a low enough height that none of the adults would see. And they'd go, "What's this under his desk?" Hand it to the adults. The adults would type it in, and then they would save the day. That's about as much as I could expect as far as a hacking scene, quote unquote, for a little kid. Particularly when you say it's Unix.
What works?
Phone security systems? You name it, we got it.
There's a guy out there. So they got the phones, the security system, and everything else back running. So now what do? We hear a phone ringing. The studs say come this way and answer the phone.
Mr. Hammond, the phones are working. Children alive.
Grandpa!
Call the mainland. Tell them to send them helicopters.
And see, here's the new part. They changed it a little bit there. They were breaking through the glass, I believe, over here. Oh, only the archaeologist knows how to assemble dinosaur bones. What's he building? It's like, can I get over there and see what he's building? No, I really can't. It's a ladder system. Even if these kids are supposed to be geniuses, there's your prequel to Jurassic Park. Have the grandfather genetically engineer these two characters to be geniuses. Have that be the story. Then fill in that hole. Have the grandfather teaching Unix to this teenage girl. But leaving that to the side, it really does go to show that this is a kid's game, a kid's movie. It's a kid's movie with some horrific, scary sections, as they often do, and several people getting eaten by dinosaurs. But obviously, it's a kid's movie when the teenagers, saving the day with their cool hacking skills. You can also tell it's in one of those early 80s movies because hacking is still super cool and unknown. Nowadays, you don't get away with those type of things. Because now people generally know how complicated and boring computer programming and hacking is. A lot of kids I've heard about are very much into computer programming because of Minecraft, and that's nice and all, but once they get to the actual truth of just how difficult and how time-consuming programming is, they're going to be very, very disappointed in comparison to how easy it is to build a few simple things when you follow tutorials on Minecraft using the redstone mechanics. And then a lot of companies try to exploit that too, and then they say they're teaching kids how to program, but it's in some programming language that has no relation or no use whatsoever and can't really do anything. even the Lego Mindstorms, which kinda is its own simplified programming language. It's not a simple one. If you want your kids to learn programming, if they want to learn programming, they honestly need to just take these same classes that the college people that are learning programming are going to take, and just be prepared to learn the same thing twice. The only thing you could possibly do to make it easier on them is set them up with like HTML, making web pages. That stuff is a lot simpler than the C++, C#, G#, Java programming. All of these things are incredibly complicated, and they don't really even accomplish that much on their own. You have to have special libraries that have been programmed by other people and know how to work with those libraries. You could certainly get into like Unreal or Unity after you know how to C++, C# program, but even with the help of Unity and Unreal on top of the core programming, you're still not going to get very far. You could certainly try to make some small mods on games if the game has a map editor or a mod maker. That at least thinking that way would help a little bit. Man, I really do like this game, and I really do like this movie, and it's kind of weird that I'm just sitting here talking the whole time, but that kind of, for me, is an indicator that I do like the game. Yay, T-Rex saved the day! So apparently I can hit Y and control the T-Rex. And apparently I have to hit Y and control the T-Rex. There's nothing else to do here. Everybody's not gonna get in the middle of that fight. So I have to tap A, tap X, B, QuickTime events now, instead of just tapping non-stop. There's specific prompts. And then it changed to the kids automatically. Am I supposed to go over here and punch the guy? I'm confused. Did the game break its system? We're over here. Oh no, I need the guy. Where is he? With his knife ability to run over here and cut this. Boy, was that not obvious. They desperately needed a cut the rope sound. Just there. Just somebody screaming, cut the rope! Or the... You could have screamed out the crate. Drop the crate on them. Alright. So we're going full boss battle here. Using everybody's ability to hit the guy in the head. Now I don't think Timmy really has an ability, so I would assume what's gonna happen is tap B, hit A, hit B, hit A, and then circle in a clockwise motion. I am circling. Am I supposed to go back and forth? Yes, I am. Wow. And you can hear how loud I'm swinging back and forth there. That was not a subtle back and forth that was required.
Hammond, after careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park.
So have I.
And he survived? No, he didn't. Now, it's important to remember that all of these dinosaurs on Jurassic Park were supposed to be female. As the guy that got eaten in the bathroom. So, all of them were supposed to be female. That means none of them should have been able to breed or make any more dinosaurs. That was part of the control they tried to institute. But the whole theme of Jurassic Park is, regardless of how much you try, life will find a way. I don't know if it's really a scientifically accurate argument that life will always find a way. Life all the time doesn't find a way. Things go extinct all the time. But the point is that they didn't know what they were doing. And I think we're done with the Jurassic Park story. So let's get to when this is here, hopefully if we are done with the story, which I guess I'm thinking we are, it's gonna say end story, and then we'll be able to see credits. And then we'll have to start either Jurassic Park 2 or Jurassic World. Maybe it skips over Jurassic Park 2 and 3, just goes to Jurassic World. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. It seems like there's enough room. Finished story is correct, so let's finish the story. So they get on the helicopter where we started. The two grandkids, Ian, and I have to say Ian feels like he was given a role and just allowed to be in the movie just because it was Jeff Goldblum, who's a pretty famous actor. And then all these other people are getting chased off. Oh, this is cool. So now I'm controlling the T-Rex, and I can collect things in front of the while the credits are going. This is by far the best Lego credits we have ever seen. And it is so obvious that this should have been in every single Lego game. You're talking little kids that aren't going to really want to read the credits anyways. And give them something to do, even if it is really just a simple, I bet this is just a loop. I bet it doesn't really help you with anything. I assume you get to keep these studs by running into things, but that's probably it. And another 20,000 or so studs is not enough to really shift the balance of the game. I could even see them merging Jurassic Park 2 and Jurassic Park 3 together into little shorter episodes. I could also though see them skipping it completely. The second one and the third one I don't remember as well by far. Haven't watched them in a long time. I don't think they really had kids in them. I don't think that it was really a kids movie. I think it was kind of Jurassic Park 2 and 3 were kind of just very subtle variations of what the first movie did. It certainly goes to explain why there was never a Jurassic Park 4, I don't believe, is because the idea is played out by the first movie, and rebooting it, doing the soft reboot as it's called with Jurassic World is about the only thing you could have done, and you had to wait quite a long time, couple a decade at least since the first movie came out. And that even being said, Jurassic World didn't really inspire that there's going to be a sequel to it. I don't think there will be a Jurassic World 2. I don't think there'll be a Jurassic World 3. I think that story is told. Now, I know that there was pterodactyls in Jurassic Park 2 because of that. So we didn't get to see any flying ones. None of them were flying on the first island. And when you get to Jurassic World, they have a ocean like whale creature, but that's about it. You could certainly have a lot more ocean-based dinosaurs. It's just it's hard to depict that. You spend your entire movie underwater, I would suppose, if you were going to do something like that, and it wouldn't be that interesting. Sharks, alligators, effectively hard dinosaurs. They haven't changed that much since then, and they were kind of around back then. So, yeah, I don't know what more you could do with the series. Is just introduce more and more dinosaurs. And I don't know if that style of movie would really work if it was just an educational movie and every 5 minutes you were shown a different dinosaur that, since they all do the same thing really, they run around, they try to eat, they try to procreate, they try to stay alive. That's the life of almost every animal. You're not going to get a lot of actual accurate information above that on dinosaurs because we simply don't know. We just have their bones and what we think they look like. Everything else would have to be written by the story writers, and the story writers are almost certainly going to try to tell a human tale over a dinosaur tale, because the fact is that's a lot easier. That's what they did in Jurassic Park. The movie, it's a tale about two archaeologists who I think are somewhat romantically involved, maybe thinking about having kids, maybe not, maybe that's only slightly implied, or maybe I'm reading too much into it. And then about 50% of the movie is the grandkids. And the grandfather, the main character by all rights of this story, barely plays much of a role at all. Ian barely plays much of a role. He's comedic relief at best. His personality doesn't even really work too well as a scientist, but it allows him to give some wild speeches in the movie, that speeches which we didn't even hear in the game, because we're so focused on the kids. And I'm starting to wonder if the credits are going in circles. If the credits are going in circles, then that means you could run here for like an hour and just continue gathering more and more studs. I don't think that's the case. But so far so good as far as the Lego version of this game. I've talked a lot more about the movie than I have the game. But the game it's pretty much perfect. It tells the tale in a good way. It didn't introduce any real new concepts for a Lego game, but it didn't do anything wrong either. The only bug we saw was the slight visualization glitch that didn't affect anything. It's unfortunate that there is a bug in the game, and there shouldn't be a bug in the game, but it seems like more and more as I play games, particularly Lego games, you tend to find one or two. That's usually because they're very long games and it can almost be excused. Length will be a factor here. If we've finished like half of the game now, that would be a little upsetting. If we finished 25% of the game, that would be fine. Because we still need to run through all these story levels in free play mode. We need to run around the open world and get those little free play things too. And then we need to play Jurassic World at least. If we're only like at 5% of being done with the game, that'd be okay too. It would be a little worrying. Look at that wall of text. Can't even see a T-Rex on the other side of that wall of text. Everything here is also in French, so that makes me wonder if this game was made in Montreal or something. I usually don't put the French copyright stuff at the end. Still running around. I've got 100,000 studs, which is quite a lot actually. I only had like 400,000 before. 9.6% done. That is quite a low number. So we're probably going to do Jurassic Park 2. I would assume. I assume that's the next thing. Yeah, Jurassic Park The Lost World is now available, oddly, through the helicopter. And bonus chase levels are now unlocked on this island. Press back to view the park map and their locations. So we can see like a chase level right here. Let's see, let's look at the map. So we're right here. There's a chase here. You can't zoom in any more than this. It looks like these, I would bet, are the actual levels. The visitor's story. And then this is a section we can enter. And I bet there's some maybe power bricks, red power bricks on each one of these. They're little puzzles, I would guess. So the island kind of seems a little simplistic when you look at it, but that's alright. And then we haven't seen anything about Jurassic World, which I assume is this island, but actually it can't be. This has to be the Lost World island, and then Jurassic World has to be on this island because in Jurassic World they go to the old visitor center. That was also one thing that they tried to do on Jurassic World, is they set it in a modern time but with like fictional technology, so to make it look a little bit futuristic but not super futuristic. Jeez, how far can I go that way? Seems as far as I want. So that's pretty good progress then, I guess. We did one of the movies. We're gonna do at least the Lost World of the movie. I hope that's not DLC. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I'm pretty sure if we came down here and looked, the only DLC that I bought was these locked characters and these characters here. Just some extra characters. That's what the DLC has been in the past. And I don't think it's gonna be anything else. That would be really sucky if all you got was this and that was it. But I need to do some research there to make sure that's not the case. As far as actually making progress, that 100,000 studs I got did work towards my goal of having 1 million. This is available to buy, but we don't know where to buy it, oddly enough. We only have 7 of 200 item kits. We found 0 of 20 pictures, 0 of 10 animals, dinosaurs, 1 of 20 red bricks. We've done 3 of 26 uh, true survivors. Now, that's interesting because if there's 26, that tells me that there probably isn't a Jurassic Park 3 in this. They probably skipped that over. Because we did about 4 or 5, and let's see, 4 or 5 for the first game, 5 for the second game would be 10, 5 for the third game would be 15, 5 for uh, the Lost Jurassic World would be 21. I guess they could have all the movies in here at this rate. My counting is probably off. But then it seems a little odd. We got 1 of 20 workers in peril. We have 9 of 275 gold bricks, 3 of 20 ambers, and 0 of 20 races. So there's still a ton of stuff to do here. Although, if you just love Jurassic Park and nothing else, I think you'd probably overpay for it, but you would have been very satisfied with just that. Anywho, that's where we're going to end this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.